In today's video, I'm gonna take you along with me to one of my maintenance customers, right? This is a vehicle that I service all the time. It's not in terrible shape, but I'm gonna be highlighting the 5 products that I use, 5 chemicals I use on every car, whether it be a complete detail, I'll be using these products, or just maintenance, I'll also be using these products. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, since these are just staples within the chemical lineup of the detailing industry, every brand has them, but in today's video, we're gonna be featuring products from Detail Co. I've been using them, I've been testing them out, and I really, really like them. Some of them I'm absolutely in love with. Now, as I pulled up to the customer's house, I knew I wanted to strip off the previous dressing on the wheels or on the tires because I wanted to apply this stuff and test it out as I go. So in order to do that, I used Detail Co's BDE. That's bugs, dirt, and exterior. Highly dilutable. This is an alkaline product, so it's higher in the pH range, so it helps break down, you know, if you have a bunch of bugs on the surface of your, on the grill, spray it down, it'll help to break all that down so you can rinse it off, kind of pre-treat those areas that are heavily contaminated. Also though, it is fantastic for working on those tires and stripping off previous protection. I just went in, I used it straight out of the bottle, sprayed the tire down. I went in and agitated. It didn't foam very much for me personally, but I think that was my fault because I was using a pretty soft bristled brush. I think if I had a little bit more, a stiffer brush, I would get more agitation and it would have foamed up a little bit more. But with all that said, I rinsed the tires down, dried them off, and they came out fantastic. Completely back to square one, so you know all the previous dressing was gone. Nice dark tire, just ready for the new application of the other dressing. So did a fantastic job on the tires. Now again, I didn't use it for anything else, any pre-treatment around the car, just because this vehicle is clean, right? It doesn't get that dirty. So I didn't use it in that situation, but for stripping the previous dressing from the tire, phenomenal job. Now it is dilutable as well. We'll talk about that real quick. It says, use neat for dirty jobs, so straight out of the bottle. Again, that's what I did with the tires. 3-to-1 for medium strength jobs or 5-to-1 for maintenance jobs. So again, you're really extending the life of this product depending on what you need it for. All right, so now step 1 is done. I stripped all the previous dressing from the tires. This is where I would have gone around and pre-treated areas that were heavily contaminated. This car just didn't have them. But now it's time to foam the vehicle down, do our contact wash, all that kind of good stuff. So that is where we're using this one. This is Detail Co's neutral soap. They also have a higher pH soap, which would be alkaline. I can't remember what that one's called. Everything's gonna be linked down in the description for you guys. Again, I can't remember what that higher pH one's called, but then they also have a lower pH one as well, more acidic, so depending on the road grime and things that you have on the car, you can get anything you need from what their lineup. But again, we're talking basics, stuff that you can use on every single service, neutral soap. This stuff is fantastic. It states 1 to 3 ounces in a foam cannon. I used just a hair over 1 ounce and it foamed phenomenally well. This vehicle is ceramic coated and sometimes soap doesn't like to stick to it as well because of that. And this clung on very nicely, got nice thick foam, even with that barely over 1 ounce. So if you go to 2 ounces, it's gonna foam like absolute crazy. The smell isn't overbearing. Kind of like, I don't know, in my head I'm getting blueberry, but that may be because of the color of the bottle, I don't know. It smells good, not overbearing at all. Sometimes I want an overbearing soap if I really like the scent. Sometimes I absolutely hate it. Like I'm not a huge fan of like the super cherry scent. So in that case, I'm like, oh man, I wish there was nothing. This just has a nice subtle kind of scent. Again, kind of fruity, kind of blueberry-like. But I will say the foaming capability is fantastic. You get a wash mitt on it, super, super slick. Really, really nice there. And the benefit that I find the most out of this, besides the high foaming, is the dwell time of the foam is phenomenal. Rinses off very, very well as also. It doesn't leave anything behind. It was very easy for me to rinse it away. And when we're talking about the dwell time, I will state, I went through and did the rest, you know, finished out the car, just did a quick little interior job, dressed up the tires, all that kind of stuff, and there was still a little bit of foam in pockets on the driveway. So the dwell time is phenomenal. Highly, highly recommend this stuff. Kind of reminds me of like, I've always talked about Adam's Mega Foam for high foaming soaps. This is right there. Again, the dilution ratio is very, very good. If you're using 1 ounce, the cost per car goes way down. So great stuff there. I gotta say that's probably out of all the products I've been testing from Detail Co, I've tested these 5 and then probably 2 others so far. that neutral soap is one of my favorite. It's fantastic. So after that, I went ahead and dried the whole vehicle down, blew out areas on it, and as I was waiting for, I go around and blow out all the tight spots, but I know I'm gonna get more drips, so I don't wanna go straight to the exterior. I'm gonna move to the interior really quickly. Again, this vehicle barely even needs a vacuum, but it does have some scuffs and things like that on the door panels. So for that, I don't have the product here because my wife got to try it, and she loved it so much that she stole the bottle, and it's for her truck now. So, which is great, right? It's good she liked the product that much, but I will state, I think it's called Sword, and it's their interior cleaner with UV inhibitors built into it, which I love, because then you're getting two things done at once. You're leaving UV protection and things like that on the surface without darkening the panel, right? Sometimes you put a dressing or other type of protectant on there, kind of darkens things up, and sometimes you need that. But again, on maintenance clients like this, I don't necessarily want to do that. I just want to be able to clean and you leave protection at the same time, and this did a phenomenal job. They state that they can, I think you can use it straight, I think. It's a higher pH product, so it does cut through a lot of stuff, but you can use it on carpet and upholstery. They state that it neutralizes out and leaves UV protection behind. And then on the interiors, obviously you can dilute it down depending on how bad the soiling is. So, but full transparency here, guys, I used it straight out of the bottle, even on the door panels, just to test it out, and no streaking left behind, pulled the dirt off right away. Fantastic job again. Again, a very, very, almost no scent, at least for my nose. There was almost no scent to it, and I have so many clients that want that, because a lot of times they'll call me like, hey, I just got my car detailed from somebody else, and the car they can't drive in it because the odors are so bad. A lot of times, at least in San Diego, a lot of guys will use the aerosol interior dressing because you can blow it into the vents and everything. It makes it look fantastic. It's extremely potent, and so many times I have to go and like steam clean and get all that neutralized out for clients because it's just too much for them and they can't drive with the windows up. So yeah, this one, very, very, if there is a scent, it's very, very light. I couldn't pick it up, but it did do a fantastic job. Moving on from there, we go back to the exterior. It's time to dress up those tires that I stripped off all the dressing of before. For that, we've got dressing here. It's called Guardian from Detail Co. And they state a few different dilution ratios. So this is exterior trim and tires and things like that. I'm gonna read it to you right here. So they say use it straight for high gloss, 1:1 for a semi-shine, and 4:1 for a matte finish. So first time I ever used this, I used it straight out of the bottle, put it onto an auto fiber tire saver applicator. It's basically like kind of a twist loop microfiber that you use as your applicator. And for me personally, it was a little bit too thick. It sprayed no problem. It's just the spread didn't spread as easy as I wanted it to, at least with that applicator. So what I did is I cut it down to 1 part water, 3 parts of the product. So 25% water, shook it up. Again, it's water-based, so highly dilutable. You can adjust it to what you need. Shook it up. I was still getting a great amount of gloss, and it spread super, super easy. So I haven't tested it outside of that. That's kind of like my sweet spot for this product I like. Usually I'll do that, and then if I want a little bit of dulling agent, I'll just go through and mop it up a little bit. But again, 1:1 for semi-shine, 4:1 for a matte finish, but definitely did a good job. For me personally, not my favorite right out of the bottle, but once I diluted it down, it became absolutely amazing, and that's okay with me because I'm saving product when I do that, right? I'm actually able to extend the life of the product. Now, last but not least, guys, and you may be like, oh, window cleaner. Well, personally, I don't use a window cleaner. Detail Co has one. They actually partnered with Stoner Car Care, I believe, for that cleaner. I just don't use them. I always just use water and a microfiber towel. I've made a whole video on that. I'll link it up here for you guys so you can go check that out if you want, and how I clean windows for a perfect streak-free finish. But my last step now, like I talked about before, the water dripping out, we need a good quick detailer. And their Stay Strong detailer is absolutely phenomenal. The smell on this stuff is potent, but it's extremely, extremely pleasurable. I don't know what let me see if I can, God, it smells so good. I shouldn't take big whiffs of chemical. I know, but it smells really, really good. Now they state you can use this a few different ways. I just use this as a quick detailer. I have their website up here. It says you can use this as a quick detailer, spray into a dry towel, apply, buff to perfection. Now for me, One spritz, like this stuff went a very, very long way. I found that if you overload it, you do need to flip the towel because it would leave a little bit of a, not streaks at all, but almost like you would see like a layer of protection or something. I don't think there's any protection in it, but there was something there. So you'd flip it out and wipe that off. But just don't overuse the product. One spray, do a panel, came out absolutely perfect, zero streaking, picked everything up very, very nicely. Again, they do state you can also use it as a drying aid, just spray onto the surface or into a drying towel, proceed to dry the vehicle, or as a waterless wash, spray into a dry or damp towel, wipe, and roll the towel to pick up debris and then buff dry to perfection. So what they mean by rolling the towel, I wish I had one here. I don't. Anyways. But basically you take the towel and then you roll it as you go so that you're introducing a new section of that towel. You're picking up dirt, now you're lifting that dirt away, introducing a new clean spot, lifting that away as you go through. Then go flip the towel, buff that out, comes out nice. So also the amazing part about this, guys, it's called Stay Strong Detailer. I'm just gonna read this from their site. All proceeds will be donated to the SaveLydia GoFundMe campaign. So it's also for a great cause. Smells unreal. I highly recommend picking this stuff up. Again, for a good cause, and the smell is unbelievable and does a fantastic job with minimal product. So that's it, guys. Those are the 5 staples that I will use. A higher alkaline product that I can use for wheels, tires, and also pre-treat the vehicle if needed, right? Always good. You can get into heavier, like specifics, chemicals for sure. Obviously, detailing is a big rabbit hole that you can dive pretty deep into, but if you're just trying to keep it super simple, that one product will do all of that stuff. Then I need a good pH neutral soap. I need an interior cleaner that has UV protectant, preferably. Not a necessity, but if it has it, it's a huge bonus to me. What else do we need? Tire dressing. That one was great, just diluted down a little bit and it was phenomenal. And then a quick detailer. This one, very, very easy to use. Smells fantastic. Great cause. That's it, guys. So that's it for today's video. Those are the 5 essentials. Again, every brand has them, but go check out the Detail Co brand. Again, they have a bunch of other items in their lineup. They have ceramic coatings and things like that. I have them. I picked them up, and I haven't tested them out yet, but I will be testing those here soon. So that's it for today's video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please make sure to like the video. Make sure you subscribe, turn on that notification bell. We will see you on the next one.